Hello, my dear students, 10B and 10C. The last lecture, we talked about rational function and the domain of rational function. Today, we will study how you can find the vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. We have to know what means vertical asymptote. Definition of vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote, if we have f of x function, f of x equal to h of x over g of x. This is a rational function. If h of any number for x, let me write c, is not equal to 0 and g of c is equal to 0, what means this one? Means only a down is equal to 0, only denominator equal to 0. If only denominator equal to 0 at number, given number, then you can say x equal to c is vertical asymptote. Now, what means vertical asymptote? Vertical asymptote, if we have rational function, polynomial over polynomial, and down is equal to 0 and up is not equal to 0, then you can say the x equal to c is vertical asymptote. Example, we have f of x equal to, let me write x plus 2 and down x minus 1. What's the vertical asymptote? Just look to denominator, only this one. Equalize to 0. Implies x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 is vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. What's the difference between vertical asymptote and domain? The domain, just we look, the denominator should be 0. In vertical asymptote, if numerator and denominator equal to 0, then this one is not vertical asymptote. Look to this note. To find vertical asymptote, only denominator should be 0, not denominator and numerator. Example, f of x is equal to x squared minus 1 over x plus 1. What's the domain of this function? The domain or real number except minus 1, negative 1. Is negative 1 is vertical asymptote? After we solve it, is this one is vertical asymptote? No, it's not vertical asymptote. Why? If you replace this minus 1 in numerator, will be 0 over 0. If you get 0 over 0, then this one is not vertical asymptote. It's not vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote, only denominator should be 0. The difference between domain and vertical asymptote, only denominator equal to 0. And numerator is not equal to 0 at that number. Another example. If you have f of x equal to x minus 1, this is this function we have. Find the domain. And vertical asymptote. The domain. We take x minus 1 equalized to 0. From this one is x is equal to 0. And from this one, x equal to 1. What's the domain? All real number except 0 and 1. Okay. What's vertical asymptote? Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0 is not vertical asymptote. Why? If we replace x with 0 in numerator and the function of x will be 0 over 0, then this one is not vertical asymptote. At x is equal to 1, then will be 1 over 0, then x is equal to 1 is vertical asymptote. This is the difference between domain and range. The domain and this one is range. In another word, the domain, we can find the domain before we simplify, but the vertical asymptote after we simplify. Let me explain this with an example. Find, or I will use this pen better. Find the domain and vertical asymptote. If you have f of x equal to x minus 2, x squared minus 4. Find the domain and vertical asymptote. The domain as you know, we take x squared minus 4 equal to 0, x minus 2, x plus 2 equal to 0. From this one x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 2. What's the domain? All real number except 2 and minus 2. To find the vertical asymptote, before you find the vertical asymptote, we have to simplify if we can. F of x equal to difference between two squares, x minus 2, x minus 2, we can cancel x minus 2 with x minus 2. What you have remainder? X plus 2. Vertical asymptote is equal to what? X plus 2 equal to 0, x equal to negative 2. This one is vertical asymptote. Okay. What's the graph of vertical asymptote? This is the graph of vertical asymptote. We have function, this is vertical asymptote. And the graph will be like this one. This one, vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. The graph approach to the line vertical asymptote without touching from left and from right. Approach to vertical asymptote without touching. Will be very closer to the vertical without touching. Okay, this is vertical asymptote. We have another example. Okay, this one. To find vertical asymptote. Number 1. Find all vertical asymptote for each function. This one. Just look to denominator, equalize to 0. Solve this one. X is equal to what? Equal to 2 over 3. This is vertical asymptote. Number 2. X minus 1 over x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4 equalize to 0. Difference between two squares, x minus 2, x plus 2. Then x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 2 is vertical asymptote. Number 3 was the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote, x plus 1 equal to 0. X is equal to minus 1 is vertical asymptote. Replace x with minus 1 will be number over 0. Number over 0 is vertical asymptote. 0 over 0 is not vertical asymptote. This is same question 2. X squared plus 1 over x squared minus 1. Factorize this one. Difference between two squares. X squared minus 1 equal to 0. X minus 1, x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then x equal to 1, x is equal to minus 1 is vertical asymptote. If we need to ground this one, the vertical asymptote, this is y-axis, x-axis. At minus 1 and 1, we have vertical asymptote. At minus 1 and at 1, you have vertical asymptote. This is vertical asymptote. Number 5 was the vertical asymptote. Equalize to 0 the denominator. You write x squared equal to 0. Then x is equal to 0. This one is vertical asymptote. Number 6. X squared minus 5, x plus 6 equalize to 0. Factorize by testing x minus negative 2 and 3. From this one, x is equal to 2. And from this one, x is equal to 3. Both is vertical asymptote? No. This one is vertical asymptote, but this one is not vertical asymptote. Why? Replace x with 3 will be number 1 over 0. This one is number 1 over 0. But for 2, replace 2 will be 0 over 0. Replace 2, 2, then be 0 over. This one is not vertical asymptote, only x equal to 3 vertical asymptote. Okay, Baba? My dear students, just if you have number over 0, then this is vertical asymptote. 0 over 0 is not vertical asymptote. Number 7. Factorize, just denominator. X minus 2 x plus 1 over x squared minus 2 equals to what? 0. Equals to 0 only what denominator. From this one, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 1. X is equal to negative 1. X is equal to 2. Vertical asymptote. Replace 2 in numerator. 2 square is 4. 4 minus 2 is not equal to 0. At this one will be number over 0. Replace x with minus 1 will be number over 0. Then vertical asymptote. This function has vertical asymptote. X squared plus 1 equals to 0. And as you know, x squared plus any positive number, this is never equal to 0. Then this function has no vertical asymptote, does not have no vertical asymptote, because denominator never equal to 0 for f of x. Right. 9. Next question 9. If you have more questions. If you need more question, look to your book and exercise. We have many exercise and you have many questions. Thank you, my dear student. Before I ended the video, I would like to thank all the students who care about the homework. Please do your homework. I will send you for weekend some question about vertical asymptote, and tomorrow we will talk about horizontal asymptote, then we finish this section. I wish you a nice day, Mr. Dlear.